Welcome back to Daily DeFi. It's August 5th of 2021. The Ethereum Hard Fork is actually today with EIP-1559. This coincides with the same day as the Hex sacrifice phase or airdrop phase is over, and these bells also signify that I'm here in Slovenia. So the point is, we have some interesting articles today, along with Uruguay as well. And with this, there is some anticipation built up, so it essentially is priced in with some of these with the Ethereum assets. So you see things like UMA, you see Compound, you see Aave, you hear these bells that won't stop. And from there, we'll start things off with DeFi Pulse and Juicy NFTs. Wow, these bells are just nonstop. Okay, so total value locked in at $72 billion. Aave dominance at 16%. DeFi Pulse index at 336. Aave Instant App Compound Curve Maker, not too much interesting there. Daily NFT volume is down a little bit, but still relative in the grand scheme of things. This is pretty insane that we're staying anywhere above $10 million. I mean, for a while that was like the peak daily, and now yesterday we saw $50 million, right? So CryptoPunks really takes that lead. But the main thing I want to focus on today is, again, this EIP-1559. And the reason that I say it kind of coincides with this Hex sacrifice phase is both of these kind of movements are focusing on cheaper transactions for the network, right? So when you have this, essentially what you have is the block size. And the block size is one of these kind of problems. You also have some scalability issues in the blockchain trilemma. So when you're looking at speed, security, and decentralization, those are kind of those main three aspects. And with Ethereum, one of the things they struggled with, and we saw this at the peak of this bull run, maybe it's not exactly over yet, is the fees were insanely high, right? So this is not scalable, right? So you can't adopt new users who are maybe just transacting $100 and the fees are $50, right? So that's something that you just can't do. And what PulseChain was focusing on doing is incredibly lowering the fees, right? So changing the actual block time. So, with BTC, for example, it's every 10 minutes. With Ethereum, it's around every, I think, 13 seconds. With Pulse, it's supposed to be 3 seconds, right? So all these things are important, but what you have to understand is when you change these things, you also are kind of sacrificing some decentralization for scalability. And here with EIP-1559, there is some things that could go wrong, but I think a lot of people are pricing in positive momentum out of this, right? So just like, for example, before a company launches something massive, the price will rise typically because it's speculation leading up to this actual event happening, right? So these are all things that are important to understand. This is that PulseChain phase that I was talking about. So the sacrifice is over. I've talked about this in detail, but I might make a kind of final video on this once everything is released and there's some price discovery for these assets. Lastly here, as far as articles go, so Uruguay Senator introduces bill to enable use of crypto payments. This senator introduced the bill to seek and establish a legitimate, legal, and safe use in business-related and production, commercial for virtual currency. So this is quite interesting. In South America, a lot of these different countries have kind of moved towards this. You saw El Salvador using it as legal tender and actually use it for a citizenship by investment program. So when I was in Batumi, Georgia, that was something that I covered. So El Salvador, it's like 3 BTC and you have citizenship basically. So it's interesting to see Uruguay kind of move in the right direction as well. Beyond that, a lot of these are positive on the daily time frame because these are mostly ERC20s. And like I said, it's these correlated assets within this market. So if you're looking at Aave, it's 353, up about 15% on the daily. Market cap is close to $4.5 billion. So quite high, I mean, honestly. Then Compound up 13% on the daily. 447 currently, market cap 243 $2,400,000,000. Let's see, so that we peaked up at those highs of around 854. Now we're about halfway down from that mark, so we retraced a decent amount. And lastly here, UMA right around $10 on the daily, 14% up. That's pretty much all for this one. Let's see, yeah, so $500 million. So that's pretty much it. Any questions, any comments, let me know. Invest global, and until next time.